dropped my poop bags. Don't let me forget those. What are we going to talk about on today's pup walk, guys? Sorry. Pup walk talk. What do you guys think about that name? Pup walk talk for our little check-ins. Oh, I better unwrap you. Honey, you're best. You're the best. Come here. 1 second, I gotta fix Chester's. All right, back to business. It's time to eat more grass dirt combo. Is this dog salad? Is the mud the dressing? Does anyone know why my dog is vigorously consuming dirt and grass like a cow? Anyway, maybe it's something they're missing in their diet that I need to fix. But if they're getting it out of eating grass, I don't really care. Anyway, girl, why do you do this to everyone? Why are you like this? Anyway, I've been naming the trees. This one doesn't have a name yet. I've been naming the trees in the park for fun, and I wanted to tell you that this is Terrence. No, sorry, Terrence. I had my finger pointing in the wrong place. And that's Ophelia. These two together, Terrence and Ophelia. Their branches are all intertwined at the top, and she looks like a beautiful Ophelia person. She's got kind of a skirt to her. What do you call it? Canopy, whatever. And then Terrence is tall and skinny. And over there, where we usually sit, on the other side of the tennis courts, focus, is I call her Rowanna Delane because she reminds me of my grandma. Doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah. Pup walk talk today. Do you ever do stupid stuff? Do you ever do stupid stuff and you're like, that was me being stupid? Like, that was 100%, I fucked that up myself. I just got the realization that I did something stupid and I had blamed somebody else for their systems not working correctly. And the company, and the nice thing is they're friendly about it. And they're giving me some time. It's a storage unit and I just needed to get out this weekend and my code didn't work and it was my fault. It was. I didn't realize it was my fault until I was on the phone with him. He's like, are you putting it in this way? And I was like, definitely. I'm definitely doing that. So it must have just been a malfunction at the gate. When it comes to business and it's not going to hurt anything, I don't think I need to own up to the fact that, oops, I did make a mistake, because they're not making me pay for the month of September, and they're still letting me have the week to get all my stuff moved out, which I think they would have done anyway. I mean, it's a storage unit. It's like, they know you have to have time to get everything out of there. And normally, when you do something stupid and you blame it on somebody else, I think it's bad karma. I think in this case, it's not that big of a deal, especially because I apologized for the intense voice message I left over the weekend. I did apologize for the impact I made, and it was fine. But, like, sometimes you blame people for stuff they didn't do, and you didn't realize it until later. What do you do? What do you do when you realize later, after the fact, when everything's said and done, that it was your fucking mistake? It was your fuck up. It was you. What do? You know what's the hardest thing to do? Careful, baby. Careful, baby. I have to make sure she doesn't go too much in her ears. You know, the ear infection problem. There's a school right there, and kids are on the playground right now. Anyway, that's part of why we're over here, because she's annoying. When there's kids playing, she wants to play with them, and she can't. They're behind the fence. But anyway, do you know what I do when it's impactful? I apologize. I try to. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it. But I try to own up. I do. And like even today, I apologized for leaving a stressful voicemail, even if I didn't totally fess up, because I think in the grand scheme of things, the how and the why it didn't work didn't matter. It's just a matter of, can I get my stuff? And I'm sorry if I stressed you out. I wasn't trying to. And I think that that's enough. But what happens if it's a relationship you want to maintain? I'm never going to speak to these guys again, unless I want to rent a storage unit, but I won't rent theirs. Their gates are too narrow. You can't fit things in them that I want to fit. I want to get a storage unit for my camper, for example. It won't fit in there. It's why I got the storage unit in the first place. Turns out I didn't need it because my apartment, the house that is a 5-plex that I live in, has room for my trailer to store, so I didn't have to, thankfully. But there's reasons I didn't want to keep my business there, and I don't know why I'm saying all of that. It's just do you ever get a brain freeze because you realize you squirreled off too far in the wrong direction? Anyway, back to doing stupid stuff. Sometimes you do stupid stuff, and the hardest thing in the world is to own up to it. That's what I'm getting at. Because even though I always do my best to apologize or make amends for my stupidity, especially if I've realized it after the fact, it's hard. It's so hard, and it's so much pride. Because that's what they call that thing in your chest that says, it's not worth it, don't do it. If you do it, we'll be embarrassed. If you do it, it will bring us shame. If you confess at what a problem we are, then everyone will know we're a problem, and I'd rather them think that they're the problem. Right? I do that to these dogs sometimes. It's like, why am I irritable? Well, I'm PMSing, and it's making me extra reactive, that's all. But is it your fault I'm being extra reactive because you're just trying to be a normal dog doing dog things? Is it your fault that I'm being reactive about you peeing on the floor when you're just recovering from an infection, and it's not your fault? No, of course it's not your fault. Of course it's not their fault. They're the people I practice apologizing to the most. I say sorry to these guys more than anybody. I usually owe it to them more than anybody because let's just say there's a reason I never had kids. I'm a lot at home. I'm an angry person. I was trained to be an angry person. I was raised to be an angry person, not by my angel of a mother, but by the person who I take the most physical traits from. And I've got my mom's brown hair, and I've got a combo strike. My eyes are hazel. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if it's bright enough. But I've got a mixed eyes. My mom had brown. My dad has icy blue. And I got these, and I've got the ginger genes. No one else in my family has freckles like I do. So that's probably from the Scandinavian side, I don't know, but my build, my voice, my intensity, my mental illness, the way I drive, the way I talk to people, the way I walk, heavily influenced by the dude that I was raised by. And when you're raised in a traumatic environment, what ends up happening, traumatic, chaotic, you recognize that all of that stuff wasn't necessarily his fault too, because he had issues. You guys are so cute. How can I ever be cranky with you? It still happens. Because I'm the problem, it's me. That T-Swift song, my band covers it. I think we do a pretty fun rendition. Anti-Hero. But the reason why I wanted to do that one so bad is because I feel like that she wrote that song about me. You're okay, bud. Go ahead. To quote from the great philosopher T. Swift, sometimes I feel like everybody is a sexy baby and I'm a monster on the hill. Slowly, how does it go? Lurching towards your favorite city, shot through the heart, but never killed. I don't care. I don't care what your opinion is on Taylor Swift songs. And I'm not sure if she wrote those lyrics specifically herself or not, and I haven't looked into it, so tell me, let me know. Did she write that? Because honestly, she's so blonde hair, blue-eyed, perfect. You'd think that she wouldn't feel that way, but those lyrics are incredibly relatable to me. I am a gigantic person. When I say that I got that guy's body, I mean we weigh the same. We're not the same height, but I got him on hips, so I'm 215 pounds. I'm really dense. You can kind of see. I'm working on my upper body. Mostly my strength is in my lower body. My abs, my trunk is pretty strong. I'm working on balancing out the rest, but I learned how to be a monster from that guy. And what I didn't learn from that guy was how to say sorry. And I think I've already told this story, so I'm not going to say it again. It's in my Narcissist video. But when I grew up and out of that house, or actually when he left and got out of that house, I made it my mission, and again, the story's in the other video, to get good at saying sorry. And so this is just an expansion of that thought, because when I engage in the world, I intimidate people. I don't always intimidate people. I'm pretty friendly and pretty fun. I have big dog energy. I'm not picking a fight. I'm never picking a fight. I don't pick fights. I do not choose a fight unless I have to, unless it was given to me, unless it was put in my fucking lap. And even if it's put in my lap, I don't always pick it up, you know what I'm saying? I walk away from a lot of fights, and the reason for that is I'm the danger. How many of you know that you're the danger? I imagine it's less people than I think, but I know I'm not alone. But when I say I don't pick fights, it's because I know I'll win, and I'll win in a way that will be shitty. And I don't want to be shitty. And that's not the world I want to live in. And that's not the person I want to be. I don't want to engage in other people's nastiness, because the world I want to create follows my personal philosophy: radical empathy, radical accountability, radical kindness, radical self-love, radical community. I'm still building all my radicals, but that's my radical philosophy, because I'm pretty radical. Look at me. Look at this. Look how radical my t-shirt is today. Anyway. I had this in my hair and forgot about it. So yeah. This is how I move around in the world, to show that I'm not a threat to people. I get to wear what I want, I get to talk how I want, and how I dress is for fun and for frivolity. I love frivolity. And I know a lot of these videos so far have been kind of intense. It's just mostly because in my life I don't have a lot of people I can be intense with, because most people just get the friendly side, and I'll be honest, most people can't handle the heavy stuff. What's interesting about the way the world is falling apart right now is that people are becoming more aware of the darkness in the world, rather than hiding their heads in the sand and avoiding it. So it is actually getting easier to talk about negative things. But a lot of people just don't even like to talk about negative things at all. And especially the culture in which I have been raised, niceness precedes kindness. Does that make sense? There's a false niceness in this community that comes from performance. Do you perform well in the community? Are you performing their moral standards, their prescribed behavior patterns? Are you doing it correctly? Because you will be treated nicely for as long as you are behaving correctly. And the second you step out of line, it goes away, because it wasn't kindness and it wasn't sincere. It was comfortability. How comfortable are they with you around? And when you act different from the things that they believe are the only way you can act and get into heaven, they reject that. It makes them afraid. And funny thing, the reason why I'm bad at apologies isn't just because of my dad. That religion also refuses to apologize for wrongs that they have committed. It's actually documented, like patterns, that when they've made changes to policies, to practices, whatever, they just do it quietly. They roll it out, they change it, and then they never acknowledge the harm that they caused in the first place. To the point where, like, we're talking significant abuse. We're talking, not to get too heavy in today's pop walk, but we're talking sexual assault stuff. We're talking poverty, and like people in this religion pay 10% of their income to this religion, and that religion you have to twist their arm to get anything back, even though they say they're built up to provide. They have storehouses of food. They have billions, hundreds of billions of dollars, and they have membership that are in poverty and starving and can't pay their rent, and they can't get money for it. They're getting worse about that. There's not even trying to get better about that one. Their history, their historical offenses, they don't apologize for anything. So where did my dad get it from? Well, he got it from his family, who got it from the church that either they were raised in or converted to. So when I say I know what it is to have a hard time apologizing and taking accountability for what you have done, I was raised with this inability. It was trained into me. And that's because I was never very feminine. Now, do the women apologize a lot more? Yes. Yes, they do. Because women in that culture are blamed for every problem. Where are we going, bud? Go ahead. But I was never much of a woman. I never saw myself as female. I mean, I just didn't interact in the world. I never have interacted in the world as a girl. I've always been whatever this is. I don't care what you call me. She, he, they, whatever. I'm just somewhere in the middle, and I always have been. So I never really picked up as much from them. But even then, the women don't apologize well either. I can say that because I've seen it too. And there's cattiness and nastiness because of the competitive nature of being a woman in a religion where you have no power except for the man you are attached to. So it's competitive to get a better man. You have to perform correctly the behaviors of the religion in order to get a high value man, to prove you're a high value woman. You know, it's that kind of bullshit. And if this isn't familiar to you yet, you haven't been paying attention, because it is not just this part of the United States that it's like this, and it is not just this part of the world. But what I appreciate about the culture I was raised in is how obvious they are. Like, they don't know. They don't always know. They don't recognize in themselves because they don't do self-reflection as a culture. And again, like I said, it's trained in. I'm not blaming the people. It's all top-down kind of bullshit. So I've had to learn by myself, so to speak. I will say my mom always was really good at being kind and being open about like good behavior. She was never really culturally the same. Her people came from Scandinavia to central Utah in the 1850s and 60s. Settled coal mining towns, mining people are a different breed. You know what I'm talking about if you're a mining person. You know, things like, things weren't so rigid in that area because they were away from the main hub. There's a breeze, so I apologize if you can't hear me as good. And so they had a little bit more freedom to be human. Hi, baby. Do we need to clean your ears again? They're doing better. A little better. Anyway, ancestors in that part of the state, in that part of the territory at the time, actually made friends with Native Americans versus how things went further north, if you know anything about Utah history. And I'll review Utah history in this channel soon. And there's stuff that I wasn't allowed to teach, and there was stuff that I didn't learn about until a lot later because it was hidden or brushed under the rug, so to speak. But my ancestors on my mom's side were always good people, and I'm grateful for that. But I will say both sides of my family had Mayflower. I have ancestors on mom and dad's side. I have 4 people on the Mayflower who I'm related to. So we're not, none of us exempt from the harm that we've caused to Turtle Island, if you know what I mean. But like, I want to say I got my goodness, my mellowness. There's a plane. 1 second. Both dogs needed ear scritches for a minute too. I got my good-naturedness. Go ahead, bud. From that side of the family, because I can tell you what, the other side of the family, a lot crankier. Not bad. I've got friendly members of both sides of my family. Sorry. It's just, there's a lot of passive aggressiveness on that side of the family. There's a lot of rage. There's a lot of my way or the highway. And there's a lot of autistic tendencies. That's one half of the family is autistic and the other half of the family is narcissistic. And if they aren't a combo strike of both a little bit, then who are we even talking to? I'm not talking about my cousins. I'm just my dad and his parents and their siblings. Because the ones that are great are great. The ones that are not are really not. So it's one of those grab bags. And then it's just one of those things where, but I think back and I don't think I learned how to apologize from either side, you know? Because either the one wasn't causing a lot of problems, so they didn't have a lot of things to take accountability for, to model it for me. And the other, well, wouldn't have said sorry even if they got the chance. I will say my aunts are very different on that side of the family. They're blessings in that family, and I love them very much. But yeah, one of my uncles I get along with just fine. It's complicated. Anyway, families are complicated, and the way we learn how to interact with the world comes from our families of origin, right? And if you want to learn to interact with the world in a way that represents your values, your morals, your whatever, then sometimes you have to change. And sometimes they do match your values and morals, and you have to realize that those values and morals are limited. Maybe not wrong, but maybe just not 100% globally informed, shall we say. And that's what I've learned. And that's why when it's my fault that somebody that I've paid to store my stuff gets a haranguing voicemail from me on the weekend because I typed my code in wrong probably, but I'm not going to tell them that because it doesn't matter and I don't have to. You don't have to own up to everything, guys. But I did still apologize for being an asshole because I was an asshole and it was unfounded and they were being nice to me. And That's the lesson, I think. Just watch this thing. Athena, if you came here, I would fix it. You're just walking away. She's like, this is fine. There you go. She usually does figure it out eventually. Anyway, this is a bit of a bramble. I hope you've enjoyed this ramble. Because the first people I learned how to apologize to, for real, were dogs. Because it was easier. Because the hardest thing about apologizing to people is, what if they don't accept your apology? What if they just say, nope, you are an asshole, and it was your fault, and I don't have to forgive you? Because that's the thing about forgiveness. Forgiveness is their choice. I don't forgive everybody I come in contact with who hurt me. I don't believe in that. I know other people do, and we can have that debate if you want. I think that's a personal choice, and I leave that to you, but I do not forgive people who don't take accountability for their actions, because forgiveness is a response to action. I'm not going to forgive you if you didn't ask for it. I'm definitely not going to forgive you if you didn't earn it. To me, forgiveness is the gift you get after you did the labor of accountability, because accountability hurts. And the kindest thing you can do to somebody who's taken accountability is forgive them. It is a gift, and it should be earned. Wait, that sounds wrong. It's not a gift. What? I don't know. You tell me. What do you think it is? I don't give it to everybody, but I give it to most people, because most people try to improve how they've treated you when they realize that they've treated you shitty. And I'm really good at telling people when they've treated me shitty. So I'm really good at forgiveness when I need to be. But I don't need to be. And that's the beauty of accountability. It hurts. If you're an artist, you know, true art comes with the contrast. And when you've gone through the steps to say, I'm sorry, to say, I know how I hurt you, and I know what I did was hurtful because, and you can articulate what you did, and from their perspective, and you can really see their point of view. I don't need forgiveness when I've gotten growth. I've gotten my own. The accountability is for me. And they owe me nothing. And that's what makes people afraid of accountability, right? In the end, why do you feel like, I don't want to say sorry, because if I say sorry for that thing that I fucked up, even though I didn't realize it was my fuck up until later, and I wanted to come clean because I don't want to be a bad person, and I don't want to have somebody else catch blame for the thing that I did, but it's just easier for them to be blamed and not me. Because underneath all of that is of being afraid that you'll be rejected, right? That by not being perfect, you don't get to stay in the community. You don't get to keep your spot if they know that that was you. That you're the monster lurching towards their favorite city. It's scary. But the beautiful thing about practicing apologies with dogs is that they forgive you immediately. And it's such a easy reward. Because when they take you back after you've been a bitch to them. Am I sometimes a bitch to you? Am I a bitch? Am I a bitch? Yes, I am. Sometimes I'm a bitch. Just like you. When you get that reward of them still loving you, even after you've been the little shit, as hard as the feeling was in the first place, that relief that comes from saying it was me and getting it out of your chest is so worth the pain. Just the relief and the self-love and the self-acceptance is enough and must be enough for this to matter. Because in the end, it can't be about the forgiveness from the other person, the other party you've harmed. It can't be about that, because the forgiveness is theirs to choose or not. So you have to put that out entirely out of your head as the reason why you're saying sorry, or else you'll never get good at it. You have to only ever apologize because it's good for your soul. And then because usually it's a when they forgive you and accept you for the fallible, finite human person that you are, so much sweeter the reward. It's a bonus, it's an extra, and it's the gift. That's the part of where it's a gift, because they didn't have to give it to you. And it just makes you feel good. Makes it all worth it. When you say, I'm sorry, and they say, it's cool. And then it is. Let's talk another time about people who say that it's cool, but then hold resentment towards you anyway, and then it's like never actually cool, and they never actually accepted your apology. But like that's a whole other conversation, and that usually has to do with people being the problem and not taking accountability for it, and then making other people apologize to them, and that's a whole other thing. So we'll leave it there. What are your thoughts about apologies? What are your thoughts about forgiveness? What are your thoughts about taking dogs to the park and letting them snooze in the grass? Because that's what Chester likes to do. She likes to run around, and now she's keeping an eye on some dogs over here. Where are they? You're a good girl. But this is why we come and sit down. Because my boy is a yard dog, and he likes taking naps in the grass. And he didn't have an accident all night. He did not pee on the floor for the last 24 hours, and we're really fucking proud of him. So he gets to take his grass nap like he likes, because he's a good boy. And now Athena's like, we need to go do something because I'm getting bored. So thanks for listening. This one's a long one. It's kind of rambly. I hope you enjoyed it.